Okay, for tonight's homework 5-1, which is a big homework assignment, I'm going to have you do all the work and write the 5 words. So here we go. Starting off with solving a system by using the graphing method. So again, I want you to quickly graph these by finding the y-intercept and then using the slope, the rate of change, the rise over run, the common difference to get your other points for the line. So this first one starts at 1 on the y-axis or the f of x axis now, and then my slope is 3, my rate of change is 3, my common difference is 3. That made into your fractions so you could have your rise over run is 3 over 1. So that means every time from this point 1 I go over a box, I'm going to go up 3 boxes. So over 1, up 3, over 1, up 3, or of course up 3 over 1. I need you to stair step the opposite way and extend this line both ways. So that would be down 3, left 1, down 3, left 1, or left 1, down 3. Draw a line through those and then label that line. The first word is substitution. Substitution. So if I label that line, that is f of x equals 3x plus 1. Now I need to graph the second line in blue. This one has a y-intercept of 5, so I go up to 5 on the f of x axis. And then no number in front of x means that's a 1. And then that, of course, made into a fraction would be 1 over 1 to get your rise and your run for your slope, for your common difference. So from there, over 1, up 1, my slope, my rate of change. So I go up to 5 on the f of x axis or with a y axis and go over 1, up 1, or up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1. I could see they intersect right here. But keep going. Up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1. Stair step the opposite direction. Down 1, left 1, down 1, left 1. Draw your line through those. And then label that line. That line is f of x equals 1x plus 5, or f of x equals x plus 5. And then I could see for this one it's wanting me to solve it only. I don't have to check it. Write that point clearly. That is the coordinate 2 for x, up 7 for y. So 2, 7. That is that point. Label that clearly, 2, 7. So again, if I check that, if I wanted to, plug in 7 here, 2 here, will give me a true statement. 7 here, 2 here would also give me a true statement if I wanted to check it. All right, the next problem, I want you to do it the way we learned yesterday, and that is the substitution method. The substitution method has you substitute one piece of one equation back into the other. So I have the 2 same equations from the last problem, so they should give me the same answer, 2, 7, but a different way. So I'm taking this and substituting that right into the f of x spot. The second word is graphing. Graphing. So when I replace that and substitute that in, that gets replaced with what I'm putting in there, which is going to be that 3x plus 1 piece. So now there's no more f of x there. There's 3x plus 1. I have my equal and my x plus 5. And now it just becomes a variables on both sides, where I start on the left side by getting rid of the plain number on the left, and then I go to the right and get rid of the number on the right. So again, get rid of that plain number on the left by subtracting 1 on both sides, bring down the 3x, the equal, the x, and then the plus 4. Now stay on this side. Second step, eliminate this 1x term. So do the opposite, minus 1x, minus 1x. And that step right there gets all my variables on my left side and gets my plain number 4 on my right. So again, start on the left side, get rid of the plain number, do the opposite, minus 1 to both sides, minus 1 over here under the 5. And then second step, on this side, eliminate the x term by doing the opposite, minus x minus 1x. And now my third step is going to be on this side, do my division. Back to the left, do my division. So solving the variables on both sides equation. That gives me x equals 2. And then again, that is only half my answer. I need to write that as a coordinate and make sure I put that x in the right place. So I put my 2 right there in front of x, or over x. Alright, the third word is elimination. Elimination, the next method coming. Alright, now for this one to finish, I need to choose either of these to plug in 2 for x and show the work how to get 7 for y, or f of x. So I'm just going to use that top one. So I'm going to evaluate this function at 2. So f of 2. And again, that just shows what I'm doing the function, what I'm plugging in. I'm not doing any math there. This is the function evaluated at 2, or the second term, or the function when I plug in 2, whatever that answer is going to be. So when I plug that in, I have the 3. I put the 2 in there where the x used to be, plus my 1, and that gives me 6 plus 1, which shows me the function at the second term, or when x is 2, gives me y is 7, or the function at the second term gives me 7. That goes right there. Or if you plotted this point, that would be the point over 2 up 7. X is 2, y, or what used to be y, now f of x, is 7. Alright, and if you had to do the check, it would work. Okay, last problem. This is the new way. Kind of weird. I know that this is the first look at it for some of you, but I will explain it better in class on Thursday, I promise. So here we go. For elimination method, you're doing something right off the bat weird. You're going to rearrange them and then stack them on top of each other and try to eliminate the f of x. I'm going to have you learn it that way. So I'm going to have you take those. I'm going to have you rearrange it, which means do the algebraic step to get my 3x on the other side. So do the opposite. If this is plus 3x, subtract 3x on both sides. This will cancel away because these are opposites. And then on my left side, I'm just going to write that negative 3x plus f of x. So again, and then sorry about my pen, I'm having a little bit of pen issues here, so I'll go forward. That gives me negative 3x plus this f of x equal to 1. And then again, sorry about my pen there. These cancel away. I should have crossed those off. Those cancel. Now I need to rearrange the second problem. Get that x on the left side too. So that is a 1x. So I'm going to subtract 1x on both sides. These will cancel. I should have canceled these over here. So cross those off too. That gives me negative 1x plus f of x equals 5. And then now I'm going to stack these on top of each other. So I need to shrink this down a little bit. So when I stack them, I put that negative 3x plus f of x equal 1 on top, and I put this on the bottom. Let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to stack them on top of each other. So negative 3x plus f of x, which is really the y number, or y, equals 1. And I'm going to stack this on the bottom. Negative 1x plus f of x, which is really y, equal 5. And now what I want to do for this trick is I want these terms to cancel away. I want these to be the opposite. So to make one of these be the opposite, I'm going to times it by negative 1. Because if I get this to be negative f of x, it will cancel this f of x, and I could slash that away just like I slashed these away. So I want to make these opposite. So to make this opposite, I'm going to times that top row by everything by negative 1. I'm going to times everything by -1. Distribute a -1 all the way through. It's like a triple distribute, timesing everything in there by -1 to keep it balanced or still equivalent. It might look different, but it's still the same. So that gives me positive 3x. So when I times that, I'll just write that on the side. Positive 3x now. Negative f of x. And then that 1 becomes equal to -1. So that's the top row. Everything times by -1. The bottom row I leave the same. And then what I do, I just combine those together. And because these are opposite, these will slash away. And the rest of the math I do normal. So 3x minus this 1x, that gives me 2 of those x's. These go away forever. -1 plus that 5 give me 4. And then right there, all I do is divide both sides by 2, and that shows me the math how I get x equals 2. And then again, to find the last point, f of x or y, pick any of these. The original forms, the new ones after I rearranged them, this top one after I times everything by -1, I could use any of these to plug in the 2. Any of these. These original ones, these new ones that I rearranged, this one over here that I times by -1, and even though it looks different, it's still equivalent. The fourth word is solution. Solution. So again, I'm going to choose just this original top one. So f of 2, the second term, equals 3 times 2 plus 1. And that gives me 6 plus 1, which gives me 7. And again, any of these would have gave you 7. Plug in 2 here would have gave you 7. Plug in 2 here would have gave you 7 too, because you would add 6 to both sides would have gave you 7. Plugging in 2 here would have gave you 7 too. Would have been a little more difficult though. And then I need you to check your solution. Which is just going to have you choose one of these, and I'm going back to the originals. Plug in 7 for f of x, plug in 2 for x, and that gives you 7 equals 6 plus 1, which is a true statement. 7 equals 7. And then I'm going to go back to this original blue one. F of x equals 1x plus 5. And I'm going to plug in 7 for f of x and 2 for x, and that gives me another true statement. It gives me 7 equals 7. Alright, the fourth word is system. System. These are systems of equations. There's more than 2 of them, and I just showed you 3 ways to get that same answer. Good luck.